Hey there folks, I'm taking a break from Okami playing and researching to answer some questions that I've seen numerous times over the last few months that I think are worth addressing. So without further ado, let me shed some light on some constant questions I've seen in the comments section. Question 1. Why are you a Goomba? They're the weakest enemy in Mario games. The easy way to answer this question is to answer the question of why Gaijin Goomba. There's a lot of reasons. First of all, Goombas are freaking adorable to a boot. They may look all grumpy all the time, but come on. How can you resist that face? Next, yes, Goombas are the weakest character in the game, but I have a lot of personal connection with that. Growing up, I've always been considered to be the weakest and dumbest kid, so I know what it's like to be looked down upon, and so I wanted to borrow some aspects of Goombas in my character design. The other thing too is that the word Goomba, long before Mario, was sort of a slur used in the Italian Mafia, and it had a general negative aspect about it. But the word itself, I'm told, is a manipulation of a similar Italian word meaning friend. Seeing as how I would be working with cultural interpretations, I figured using Goomba in the name fit quite well. Heck, the word Gaijin in Japan is somewhat rude to refer to a non-Asian foreigner, so the name together worked out really well. Heck, in real life, I kinda look like a Goomba. Question 2. How do you hold your sword? 5-foot limited telekinesis. Yes, it exists. How do you think Goombas hold bats? Question 3. What do the characters on your shirt mean? These characters are Japanese kanji for Gaijin, and as I've said, it means a non-Asian foreigner. It's just part of the name really, but it's also a matter of pride. I've been rudely called Gaijin in Japan several times before, so I figured, I'm above it. Question 4. Are you a brony? What do you think of bronies and MLP in general? No, I'm not a brony, and the only thing that I'll say about MLP in general is that it makes for good YouTube poop. It's like how I view any other fandom. If you like it, fine, but don't get all pissed off if someone disagrees with you. Okay. Number 5. When will you do an Okami episode? Okay, moving on. Question 6. Why don't you use your real voice or your real face? Because that's boring. Everyone sits in front of a camera and does their show that way. I wanted to do something different. Also, I really don't like the way my real voice sounds, and instead of doing what everyone else does, I wanted to establish myself as a character. Besides, it's a heck of a lot more marketable. Question 7. What kind of Goomba are you anyway? Well, if you are in that much of a need for established canon, I'm a hyper-intelligent cousin of the genus Goomba, which is in the Goomba family that dwells in Sarasa Land. And yes, I do live in Sarasa Land in the Chai Kingdom. Question 8. Aren't you afraid that Nintendo is going to sue you? Okay, I understand that my character design is very similar to traditional Goombas, and yeah, in the first season my design really was just a Paper Mario Goomba sprite with a few minor changes, but the way I am now is something that was broken down and recreated from the ground up. Traditional Goombas are a massive inspiration of my character design, but they're not quite the same. My eyes are bigger, I don't have massive fangs, my head doesn't make up 80% of my mass, and I actually have a torso, and I know you can't see it, but underneath my poncho shirt thing, I do have little legs. I'm an OC, if I'm going to be honest here, and as bad a rap as most OCs get, I think I'm pretty successful. If Nintendo feels threatened from me making money from the show or the merchandise that I hope to sell, I'm open to changes if needed. I'm not here to be malicious or steal or ride the coattails of other people's success. I just want to do something different and interesting and fun as a character hosting a show in a very different form from the majority of other internet shows. Besides, I don't really talk bad about games per se, I just talk about the culture surrounding them. So if Nintendo or any other publisher or company, etc. has a problem with getting free, positive exposure on the scale of tens of thousands of people through my show, it would seem rather counterproductive to shut me down. Heck, it would be a dream if Nintendo wanted to basically adopt me and the show and have it as a direct affiliate. So, Nintendo, Reggie, Miyamoto, Iwata, if you're watching this, I hope you don't see me as a threat or a thief, but rather someone who's just been so inspired by what you've done since 1984 that he wanted to bring something meaningful to the culture of gaming. So, while I'm not necessarily afraid of Nintendo, I do want to do what I can to not infringe on their established copyrights, while keeping the designs of my characters and sets and the show in general from being changed too much. I want to assist in the mission to make video games a positive, meaningful medium and not take advantage of it financially. At the same time, though, I cannot continue to improve the show without some sort of compensation for the time it takes to do it. Besides, there are far bigger air quotes offenders that take intellectual property of video games, make changes, and sell the product for profit. That isn't to criticize these people, but more of a defense of what I'm doing. Number 9. Who are these guys? These are the Fumon Clan Goombas, my mortal enemy. They spread ignorance and hate wherever they can, and it's my job to stop them. Number 10. What's your biggest pet peeve? I admit this isn't one that isn't asked by a lot of people, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who are just as curious. Now, like everyone else, I hate trolls and haters alike. But that's expected, you know? When people hate on you religiously, you know you're popular. So, aspiring YouTube producers, write that down. It's frustrating, but it's a sign of progress. No, my biggest pet peeve is when people tell me I forgot something. For example, during the last episode involving Russia, people kept telling me I forgot about Stalker, Metro 2033, or King's Bounty. I didn't forget them, I just didn't use them. If I had gone over every Russian game, oh, and by the way, Stalker's Ukrainian, that 10-minute episode would have turned into an hour. Would you want to sit there while I regurgitate information over a dozen games? Because I think that would be boring. Instead, I wanted to make a great topic of discussion in the comments section. See, I don't see the comments section as a place for people for me to sing my praises or to troll me. I'm hoping people will use it as a place for open discussion that extends from the episode. Game Exchange isn't about open and closed ideas. It's there for you all to expand your own ideas and develop them beyond the episode. At least that's what I'm trying to make them be. Anyway, I'm starting to go over time, so I think I'll wrap things up. But before you go, check out this round of Game Exchange fan art. It's really good. And be sure to check out the DeviantArt Gaijin Goomba fan club. There's so much cool art there. And as always, if you're wanting to stay in close touch with the show, be sure to find me on Twitter and Facebook. Okay guys, it's time for me to get back to researching. This is Gaijin Goomba, signing out.